Hello and welcome to this episode of Audacity to Lead. My name is Dio Samuel and this is the podcast where I give you the courage and necessary insight to step out and lead with more influence. So if you are running your business and you are not hitting that target that you're trying to hit, or you're marketing and you're not hitting the target you are trying to hit, it has to do with just you leading with more influence. Like I always say, I am on this podcast because I want to help you get focused, help you get started and be impactful. And of course, like I always add, if you have to be successful in today's world, you need a compelling message, a marketable product and a meaningful program. But then I'm not going to be focusing on that today. Today I actually want to just talk about something completely different. This may not mean a lot to a lot of people, but because of what this means to me, especially because of what I experienced today, I want to talk about having first-time experiences. I want to talk about first-time experiences. Now, I don't know the level you are in, and like I have on my front page, on the front page of my site, it doesn't matter the stage of life you're in. You can get focused, you can get started, and you can be impactful. So it doesn't matter the stage of life you're in. There are possibly kind of things that you've not experienced for the first time, and I just want to talk about that kind of experience on this episode. Well, I'm actually doing this recording with my phone, and I just stepped in from Takwa Bay, and I had a couple of experiences today that had to do with first time things. Well, some persons may actually not really see this in a big light, but to me it actually means something, and that's why I actually just felt like, okay, just let me share something from my life with you guys so that you can at least see something more peculiar about first things. Okay, so let me get into a couple of discussions. And particularly as you go into 2016, I want you to look at your life, look at your business, look at your calling, what you're called to do, and look at it. What are those things that you've not actually experienced for the first time? What are the things that you really need to experience for the first time? And okay, so as I came in tonight, I was having a conversation with one of my clients, a fitness trainer. That's a fitness trainer. She's actually a fitness coach. And I was having a conversation with her recently, and I was telling her that, my brain cannot process some of the things you are telling me just now. And I said, please, can we talk about this later on? Because right now my brain is actually still dancing in the euphoria of first time things. Today, December 20th, happens to be my first time on the Takwa Bay, my first time being to a beach, my first time being on a boat that is not a canoe. That may sound funny actually, but today happens to be my first time of experience a lot of things combined together. Okay, one of them is today happens to be my first time of. That may actually sound very funny. Today also happens to be the first time I'm going to use a selfie stick. Now that sounds funny, but actually there's a lot of first things I experienced today. And when I was at the beach, I wanted to do this podcast recording. I wanted to record this particular episode because I wanted them also to actually get them engaged in this. But I just couldn't come up with what to discuss, because I didn't want to go with the things I've actually done before. And as I was stepping in, it just dawned on me that today happens to be a lot of things that I'm actually experiencing for the first time. And just as I mentioned, I experienced a lot of things for the first time today. And that actually makes me want to ask, in your business, in your life, in your leadership, in the things that you have been called to do, what are those things that you would like to experience in the coming year in 2016 for the first time? What are those things that you would like to experience for the first time in 2016? So let's say your business has reached a point where you've only had clients that have been paying you maybe 50K, you've only had clients that have been paying you 100K. Would you like to have clients that are paying you millions 200k, 300k, 400, 500k in the coming year? Do you think that's something you can say that, okay, I want to experience that for the first time? Maybe you've not even recorded a single episode of your podcast yet. Are you going to actually look at it like this? 2016 is going to be the year I'm going to do my podcast for the first time. Is it that you want to actually create that blog? You want to write that post? Maybe you will say that 2016 is the year that I actually wrote my first blog post. Or maybe you're actually going to say 2016 is the year that I actually did my first video recording. Or is it going to be that 2016 is the year that you are actually going to make your first 6-figure income? For example, that's one of the things that happened to me in 2015. For example, 2015 actually is a lot of first time experiences for me. For example, 2015 particularly is the year that I had the first time experience of having a non-Nigerian, somebody who's not of my nationality here in Nigeria as my client. For the first time, I had that for the first time in 2015. And when I had that, it repeated itself. I was able to have more clients who were not Nigerians because I was able to break that frame for the first time. 2015 also happens to be the first time I was ever going to hold a meaningful conversation through voice with someone that is not in my country, in Nigeria. Of course, I chat with a lot of people, but I don't always get on calls with them. 2015 was the first year that I had lot of such calls. Something like every month I was always on call, every week I was always on calls, and all that. 2015 was the first year. 2015 also happens to be the first year that I got on iTunes. 2015 happens to be the first year that my podcast ever ranked as top first 2 to the top 1, 2, 3 in categories on iTunes. 2015 happens to be the first time I had my first time of making a 6-figure month in 2015, which actually repeated itself also. I had my first time experience, the first time that I ever received an award in my life is 2015. The first time that I actually, I'm just looking at my life right now, looking at my business. In fact, 2015 was the first time that how should I say now, that I made more income internationally than locally. 2015 happens to be that year. So look at your life, look at your business, look at what you have been called to do, and look at it and say, okay, these are the kind of things I want to experience for the first time in 2016. And I think if you have actually been doing certain things in a particular way, I want you to look at yourself right now and say, okay, 2016, I want to experience these things particularly. For example, I can say that in 2016, I'm going to do a lot of things I've never done before. And that is deliberate because I want to have such first-time experiences. Now, what's the benefit of first-time experience? Because someone will be asking that, do I really need to have such moments? The thing is that our brains actually work in such a way that when we experience something new for the first time, there's a euphoria that is created in our brain. Somebody may also look at it like when we experience something for the first time, our brain begins to argue. But the thing is, if you are able to expose your mind to something for the first time, it doesn't leave you the same way. So if you look at it and you say, okay, I want to experience a lot of things for the first time, just be specific about those things. Now, some of them you may not even plan them, just like I didn't plan to receive the awards I received this year. Just like I didn't plan to be rated as top business and podcast on iTunes. Just I didn't plan to actually plan to make the income I made. I planned it, even though I planned it to happen within 3 months. It happened 6 months into the goal date, and then it repeated itself because I was able to repeat what I did. And so I want you to just look at yourself. That's just what I want to encourage you to do on this particular episode, so that you can look back and say, what are the things I want to experience for the first time in 2016. And I think that's where I want to end today's episode. I believe that this episode actually is going to be an encouragement to you. So if you look at your life, once again, look at your business, look at your calling, What is it that you need to experience for the first time in 2016 as we enter the new year? Start working towards them. And I hope that by December 28th of 2016, you would have accomplished all those things. So right now, I want you to just do an activity right now. Close your eyes. Let's say today is December 20th, 2016. What are the things you want to see happen in your life that have not happened yet? I mean, what would you like to see happen in your life come December 20th, 2016 that have not happened yet? Pick your paper, pick your pen, write down as many things that can come to your mind and say to them like, this is going to be my first time experience for so and so thing. This is going to be the first time I'm going to be experiencing so and so thing. Now, you don't have to create how you are going to do them. You just need to be specific about the what. Once you can get the what in your mind, once you can get the what clearly pictured in your head, in your mind, in your heart, if you are able to get that clearly, you discover that the how becomes easy. For example, I've always known that I was going to win an award. I never knew that it was going to come 2015, but I've always known that award is going to come because I've always had this mindset that I just need to do what I'm doing with excellence, with the kind of excellence that nobody will easily match, and people will find that I'm outstanding in what I do. So that's how I've approached my podcast. That's how I've approached my blog. That's how I've approached every single thing I do, including the designs I do for my clients that I do designs for as a marketing professional. So look at your life. What do you want to see happen by December 28th, 2016? Write those things down and begin to look forward to them as first time experiences, as expectations. And I trust that you will get to that. So this is where I end today's episode. I really hope this episode can encourage you to actually step out and lead with more influence. I hope this episode can encourage you to get focused, to get started and be impactful. But just to chip this in case you want more hands-on experience, I'll be glad to help you. I'll be glad to help you navigate that creation that you will be needing to do. So if you're at 2016 and you want to really create something phenomenal, something really massive for yourself in 2016, please, you can reach out to me, or you can even join my Break the Frame virtual bootcamp, where I'm set on helping people actually do what they have never done before in their lives, what they have never done before with their calling, what they have never done before with their businesses, more particularly with their lives and their calling. I'm helping you take away the limiting frames of mind that you have and accepted, those things that you've seen as the reason why you are not making a headway. Those are the things I want to really tackle in Break the Frame virtual bootcamp. More specifically, we are going to find out why you are underachieving, why you are stuck where you are, and of course, we are going to also help you design the kind of things you should pursue for 2016, such that at the end of 2016, you are looking at yourself and saying that, wow, thank God I did these things. Thank God I did this. Thank God I did that. So if that looks like you, I would like you to enroll in Break the Frame virtual bootcamp, which happens January 4th through to 10th. And you can actually register at audacitytolead.com/bootcamp. The registration details can be found there. So go right now to audacitytolead.com/bootcamp and you can join in for that. I hope to have you work with me. Now, Break the Frame actually happens in a closed WhatsApp group because we want to make it not particular to a location, so that if you are in any part of the world, you can actually join in. That's the reason why I'm using WhatsApp, because it allows us to actually interact on a very deep level. That's why I didn't use a Facebook group this time around, because I want to be able to work with you guys one-on-one in a very deep level. And the good part is that my friend Matthew Femi Adedoye has joined a such a part of the facilitating team for this Break the Frame workshop. Matthew is one of those guys that I really admire his work, and I feel like he has something that you can also benefit. And one of the interesting parts of this is that they are profiling assessments that we are going to give to you, that you are going to do, that you are going to discover a lot of things about yourself, and then you are going to discover why you are where you are and you are not making a headway, and then what to do to actually move forward, and more specifically what to actually do to help you set and get the goals so that you'll be setting for yourself in 2016. More information about this can be found at otherslittleLead.com/bootcamp. And so I hope to have you on the next episode of this podcast, and more importantly, at the Break the Frame Virtual Bootcamp. So I hope to have you next week as I give you another episode of Others to Lead. Thank you so much. My name once again is Dio Samuel, and I hope you have yourself a fantastic week. Catch you in the next episode.